All right, welcome to another CobraPin Fresh Friday where I introduce a new product. So I'm going to start with the motivation for this one. So I have these pop and dome LEDs, they're RGBW, and I also have these mini dome LEDs which are RGB, and you can use them for each of their respective applications. This one you can also put in a like Data East pop bumper, or you can make them work in other pop bumpers as well. And one of the things that I was thinking about was, well, some people want pop bumpers and mini domes that are just RGB. Sometimes people struggle with RGBW, don't really need the W, the white channel, and they're looking for something smaller, cheaper, etc. So I thought, how do I combine these two into something that people can use? So that's exactly what I did. So I took these two things and I basically slapped them together. So and that's what I got. It's pretty simple to do. Just slap it and then it works. So this is the new 4-in-1 LED ring. And I say 4-in-1 because you can use it for pops, you can use it for domes, full-size domes, mini domes, and you can use them under inserts as well. So I'll just show some of those real briefly here. So you can use the two main holes for the mini domes. You can use them with full-size domes by using these half holes. You can use them under inserts. So this is a 1-inch insert, and you can have the rotating lights going there. This is a 1.5-inch insert that you can put them under. And then you can also put them in Data East pop bumpers. And I'm sure you can make them work in other pop bumpers. But you can set them in there, get your Data East cover, and get some nice rotating effects there. So again, these are RGB. Brightness is going to be fairly similar when you're using colored channels, so red, green, blue, magenta, all that stuff, fairly similar to this one. It's when you use the whites. So when you use the whites, this one's going to be noticeably brighter. So if you don't need these are quite bright, so if you don't need super bright white, you just need regular looking pops or domes or whatever. Like these still work as flashers, they're just not going to be the blinding white that these are. Again, there's still 8 LEDs, so you get quite a bit of light. So the other thing is, for these LEDs that require these 4 connections, a lot of my LEDs you can put on a chain and they have these 3 connections, right? So you have this daisy chain of 3-pin connections here. Well, a number of these are 4-pin connections, so we can use our twig LED boards to basically convert from a 3-pin device to a 4-pin device. But I've never offered 4-pin cables before, so now I have 4-pin cables that I'm going to sell in basically 3 packs, but they actually come out to 6 packs because you only need to use one of the connectors. So you can cut them in half, peel them apart, cut them in half, and you get 6 of these with each one. And I'll sell them in multi-packs and everything. So these cables are 300 millimeters long. It's about a foot long. So if you need to get somewhere up above the play field and route to a few things, you may need to use one of these cables for 1 light. But if you don't need to go that far, you can cut them in half and use it for 2 lights. So again, you can take one of your lights here, and I'll take that little tab off. Take one of your lights, cut this, solder it to here. Make sure that you're checking to see how the wiring goes here. So plug in one of these connectors, and then you can see on your twig board, you've got ground up here, 5 volts down there. So just note that, you know, on this particular cable, you've got diamonds. So when you cut this, the diamonds need to go to the ground pin, right? Diamonds here to the ground pin, and then 5 volts here looks like these little tiny X's. So then the X's need to go to the 5 volts here, and then the data out and data in are just in order. Make sure you get your ground and 5 volts correct, and then everything else is in line. You can also use these cables on the original boards, whether they're these pop and dome ones, the mini dome ones, or the star post lights. It also works for those. So got your star post lights. You can connect the 4 pins up to that. So you can use these cables for that. So you can take your pop bumper, for example, and split this down the middle, and then you can go up through the pop bumper holes. So I'm going to take this out and show that. All right, so I'm actually going to cut a little bit of a bevel on this wire, the insulation of the wire. I'm not actually going to cut the wire. Let's see. Yeah, can you see that? Just a little bit of a bevel. We're trying to coax these wires into a pretty small hole on the pop bumpers. Again, these pop bumper holes were really only meant for 1 wire, and we're shoving 2 in there. So, okay, now that we got the wire beveled, I'm actually just going to compress the wires this way. This just barely fits, so you gotta kind of convince it to get in the hole that you want. So we'll slide that in, and then using the pliers, we want to just get it started. Kind of find the hole. Okay, I just got it started. So now we're going to take the pliers and just carefully just inch it in till we come out the other side. How are we doing? Oh yeah, we came out. So then again, pull through. It is tight, so pull gently. And you can, now we got that one through, now we can work on getting the other one through. Okay, got both of them through. That second one was a little bit more difficult just because access to this hole is kind of a pain. But this is the way I chose to have it come out, to where I could keep it away from the switch spoon and keep it away from you know, the action of the mech there. So now I have that to where I can take one of my twig boards, and you know, I've got the 4-pin connection here, so I can plug it in as it's supposed to be, and then I can wire it up as necessary. So if we look at this twig board, you can see there's ground, data coming in, data going out, and 5 volts. So notice the ground is on this small dash line. So we can, and this may be different based on which connector you choose. So just note which one it is, and then you can find it up here. So again, there's the dash line, the small one, and we can connect that up to ground. So on here you can see there's ground, and then the one next to it will be this data out, and then which we can double check and see which one is 5 volts. So the 5 volt one is here on the bottom, and that one does not have a line on it, so that's this one right here. So this one doesn't have a line on it, so that's the 5-volt one. So the small dash is the ground. No line is the 5 volts, and again, that's on this particular cable. It varies what the pattern is, so just double check it against your twig board, what it's going to be. And then you can go ahead and strip off a little wire here and solder it on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that offline and then show you the result. Now this isn't where we want the thing to live, so we got to pull the wires back down to get it to seat kind of where we want. So just gently pull that down, get this situated. There we go. It's looking pretty good. Double check everything. Yeah, I like that. So, one of the nice things about the wires being a little tight fitting is you can kind of lock this thing in and it doesn't bounce around so much. But yeah, that is fully in there. We can put the lid on and check it out. Okay, now we've got a little light test running here, showing the multiple colors here. Got some spinning effects there, a little blue, a little orange, and then yeah, going back to the other colors. So yeah, that's the mini dome, pop, dome, light insert ring, the 4-in-1 RGB insert ring. Works pretty well. Between the cables and the new 4-in-1 ring LED, that's it for this CobraPin Fresh Friday. Thanks for checking it out, and hope you build some awesome pinball machines. Thanks.